What's up guys, Anthony here from DPR. This week is all about visual recessive animals. If you guys are ready, let's jump right into that. So this is the very last video before Tinley. Usually we do some big reveals and I really wanted to do my paint video that I've been planning for the last couple months. I wanted to do it today, but the main elements of it, a paint clown, is deep in shed, so I'm teasing it to you guys, but we have a lot of goodies in that project. Some of those animals would be at Tinley this weekend, so if you're curious about what might be revealed later on, we'll have them at Tinley this weekend. If you guys are potentially attending Tinley, come say hi, come check out the animals. We'll have some really special deals, but let's get into today's video. The whole concept is I've hatched a lot of visual recessive in the last couple weeks, and I wanted to give you kind of a deeper dive into some of the stuff that I've had. All right, let's do it. All right, so these first babies are Clown the Clown and Allelic Male. Obviously, I talk about Allelic all the time recently, but I've had a lot of clutches from Allelic males. So Cypress, Spotnose, Fire Clown, Allelic, Cypress, and Spotnose. To one of my favorite snake I hatched in the past, a OD Yellow Belly Cinnamon Red Stripe Clown. And this is all about cinnamon because cinnamon is on most of these babies, but I am a huge fan of the look that cinnamon gives to the combos. It's not as easy to work with as black pastel that gives obviously really good colors, really good contrast. Cinnamon is a different gene and it works really differently. It tends to brown out as they age, but it yields a really cool exotic looking vibe to the animals. So these two babies here are some of the first one that I want to introduce. So this one here is a Spotnose Yellow Belly Cinnamon Clown, and the other one is with red stripe. So you'll see that the red stripe brings a lot of texture. So basically when we talk about texture, it's really the black tip of the scales that you have on the sides that the non-red stripe version doesn't have. So basically this one here with red stripe is the cinnamon version of the Pompeii. So you have the same type of pattern, the same vibes to it. You just don't have any of the red colors that come from the black pastel. The cinnamon really gives an exotic look to it. But on the long run, I think that if you do this one with DG and exotic, you might have a better result than what the Pompeii would look in exotic DG. So all things considered, it's not because one gene works more with colors that the other one is just not good. It's just that it works differently. This here with lace or even white lace could look like an exotic Desert Ghost clown, and I think it could be really, really interesting. So these next one are basically the Cinnamon Cypress combos of the clutch. This is a really hard snake to ID for me. Cypress Cinnamon for sure. Pretty sure it's Fire. I would tend to say that it's OD based on the orange that you have on the tail. But I don't think it's red stripe and I don't think it's yellow belly. But I'm pretty sure it's like an OD Fire Cypress Cinnamon Clown. Really love the muted colors. I think it has kind of a orange, gray, purple tone to it, which is really cool, really interesting. Obviously the head doesn't have any of the crazy spot nose head. It's more of a blank gray head. And then we hatched this animal here, which to me is absolutely exceptional. This, I think, is ODYB Cypress Cinnamon Clown. It could also be Fire, but I think that the Fire and Cinnamon tend to throw more of like a grayish animal. So I think this could be ODYB Cypress Cinnamon Clown. I'd say it's Cinnamon because of how dark the dorsal is. It is orange, but it's really, really darker. I'll bring you one of the only not cinnamon clown of the clutch, and you'll kind of see a little bit the comparison between the two. So this is without cinnamon. Pretty sure this is just a Fire Yellow Belly Cypress. Obviously beautiful colors, really, really rich color on the sides. Cypress and Yellow Belly together are so reactive, especially in clown. And I think that you can really see now the cinnamon going on top. I think OD is really bringing some of that color back, but the sides on this snake, really, really white sides with high pattern that are looping all the way up to the dorsal and creating those big pockets of pattern on the sides. Really, really huge fan of this clutch, of this look. And this is going to be the only snake I'm keeping. I think that working maybe super OD and lace or hurricane into this animal will be, and I feel like this is always what I'm saying, super OD, lace, and hurricane. But these are really genes that you can put to absolutely everything. We'll go quickly over this clutch, but this is another Cinnamon Clown clutch. We have two Enchi Cinnamon Clowns. They might be red stripe or yellow belly. kind of feel like this one is yellow belly based on those sides. And then based on the similar-ish color, I would say that this is Shiny and She Red Stripe. Shiny and She together in clown, not necessarily my favorite platform to work with, but I do love the look of Shiny and Clown with Spot Nose, and especially here with Phantom. This is what I believe to be a Shiny Phantom Spot Nose Yellow Belly Clown. It could also be Red Stripe. Kind of hard to say on this one. It has a lot of texture on the side, so it could really well be Red Stripe. But this animal is really cool. It's kind of what I would expect a Exantic combo to look like. And again, the cinnamon really gives you that. So I think that when you start pairing Shiny, Spot Nose, Exantic, and Clown all together, we'll really be able to get some good contrast because cinnamon is working in that direction already. So I think Shiny Exantic DG Clowns are really going to be a super cool platform for the future. So I have a lot of animals to produce some puzzles in my collection, but for the last 2 years, I've really struggled to get my animals to go. I think I'll have to do more breeding stimulation to really get them going. So I had very little luck with my puzzle projects, although I have a lot of animals to produce them. I've hatched a few this year. These are some of the example. They're both puzzle head hypos. Obviously, we have a single gene puzzle with the classic puzzle attitude. So we have a single gene puzzle, and then we have a pastel puzzle. Like I said, both head for hypo, and they are the Rene line hypo from Europe. And the Rene line hypo really yields some of the best colors in the industry. So really happy to have these animals. I'm keeping the puzzle. The pastel puzzle is for sale, but if she doesn't sell, I'm definitely going to keep her because it's a project that I want to work in the future. And puzzle and pastel together are great genes. So I do think that even if we have a pastel animal, it's really worth it. And then we managed to hit a pretty cool animal from a different clutch. And again, it just goes to show my luck. The pairing was a OD Yellow Belly Hypo puzzle as a second male. So this male had 2 lucks with the female. And then I stimulated the female with the hypo puzzle. So both hypo puzzles. The female is an OD Vanilla Spot Nose Mojave head puzzle produced by me a couple years ago. So we could shoot for like super OD, yellow belly, crazy puzzle stuff. And very unfortunately, we only hit 1 puzzle of the clutch. And the whole clutch was taken by the hypo puzzle, not the ODYB. That's the only puzzle. And like I said, only taken by the hypo puzzle, not the super OD. But this animal here, this female, is truly majestic. I believe that this is a OD Vanilla Mojave puzzle, head for hypo, Rene line hypo again. So beautiful female for my projects. And to me, Mojave and puzzle is one of the best interaction, if not the best interaction in the genes so far, because of how it affects the dorsal, the creamy look, the way you have very different colors on the dorsal, the way the pattern fades. Usually when we have different patterns going along, we'll have kind of a black highlight to it, but on the Mojave puzzles, this highlight is not there. It's just faded with orange. A beautiful female for the future. Next snakes are really weird. They're all blackhead GHI, or actually they're all blackhead clown. And some of them are really almost patternless looking, but we have a little bit of pattern into them, which is really curious to me. This one here is probably the most patterned one. This is a blackhead lesser clown head hypo. And to me, this is really what I'd want to see from lesser clowns. A beautiful dorsal, such a unique look. You have like almost like footprint markings on the dorsal. And then you have that faded pattern that fades into a white-ish belly. Beautiful tones and colors into the snake. A really cool look. And then if we dive into the other babies from the clutch, it's basically when we add GHI on top. And for some reason, some of the blackhead GHI clowns that I've hatched this year are extremely reduced. This here is a blackhead GHI lesser clown. So like I said, super reduced. We have a little bit of pattern. It'd be much better without the lesser, obviously, but the lesser gives it a really interesting white look with very highly connected patterns, and then almost like a ghost appearance. Super interesting. And then if we add red stripe, I think the red stripe was kind of too much in there. It made it even whiter, but it reduced some of the pattern. I think that we kind of went a little too far with this. It's a cool interaction, but I think it's just a cool interaction when they're babies. As adults, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to turn out, but really cool and interesting looking animals. They definitely are elements for a next generation down the line. Maybe Spot Nose would bring some of that back, but who knows? They're definitely an untapped platform. So this last one is really unexpected result to me because I did not expect this animal to be so patternless. This is a all gene stacked animal in the clutch. We had Blackhead, GHI, and Black Pastel involved, nothing else. And I guess that this is a Blackhead, GHI, Black Pastel Hypo Clown. And the weird thing to me is when you look at the tail, there's a lot of pattern on the tip of the tail and on the sides. So I expected the animal to look like this throughout the whole snake, but then something weird happened and then it completely obliterated the pattern. It's a very stacked animal, meaning that there's a lot of potential that you can do with it. Again, Spot Nose might be a very good gene to bring back some of that pattern, but it's a stacked male, but the potential of it is really good. I think we're just one gene too much in this. Remove Blackhead, remove GHI, remove Black Pastel, we get a great result. Still a pretty cool looking snake. So these are some of the recent visuals that we produced. Like I said, a lot of paint stuff, but that's going to be for its own video. That might be like a 40-minute video because we hatched a lot of them, a lot of discussions, a lot of things to bring in and to consider. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to come out, but let me give you a little bit of a teaser of an animal that just shed this morning. Beautiful snake. Let me know down in the comments what you think this animal might be. On this, guys, if you are going to Tinley, come check out the booth this weekend. Really excited to be there, show the animals, talk snakes, and to really see everybody. Really excited about that. We'll have some DPR caps for sale, a few t-shirts, and a pretty cool promotion going on. On this, guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to YouTube channel, and go see our available animals on Morph Market. Again, we'll have some really good pricing at Tinley. We'll see you soon. Cheers.